Welcome into the campus of Bryan College here at the Lions Den. Sorry for a little bit of the late start with the stream and an even later start on the broadcast. I'm Jordan Day here with Lions Live. Had a few technical difficulties, and I'm usually just the voice on the mic and not the technical guy, so a little bit delayed here. 33-37 remaining in the first half between the Lady Lions and the Lady Royals of Johnson University. 0-0 here at the Den in what is the last home date of the year for the Bryan College soccer programs. A wonderful day on the hill. Fall break just happened, so little more bare in the crowd tonight, but wonderful weather, not a cloud in sight, beautiful blue sky. We've got the ryegrass planted. It's popping up on the field, so just a really good night for some men and women's soccer here in this Appalachian Athletic Conference matchup between the Johnson Royals and the Lions. Nothing of note here so far, really. We did get a yellow card on number 13 from Johnson at center back, Amelia Daughtry. But while we have a second in the action, I will give you your starting lineups for the Lions first. Number 1, Katie Finch. Number 4, Kaylee Ridley. Number 5, Carmen Verdell. Number 6, Lindy Arsenault. Number 9, Ryan Fair. Number 10, Cami Ruling. Number 11, Trinity Rutherford. Number 12, Danae Bates. Number 15, Ruth Cook. Number 17, Dylan Knight. And number 23, Sarah Horton. As we see that ball go to Lindy Arsenault on the flank, ball's going to be played in and not going to take a deflection. Good job by the Johnson defender there. Ball's going to go out for a goal kick. Quickly through the Johnson starting lineup. Number 1, Brenna Benke. Number 3, Amy Johnson. Number 5, Caitlin Pope. Number 7, Allie Townsend. Number 8, Lexi Hatch. Number 13, the aforementioned Amelia Daughtry, also on a yellow card. Number 11, Ella Keene. Number 19, Ainsley Ballard. Number 20, Annabelle Reich. Number 23, Lainey Willis. And number 31, Brianna Hauser. Those are your starting 11. We have not had any subs yet, to my knowledge. I was tinkering around with some of these wires here to make sure we're live, but we should be good to go. 31-30 remaining, 0-0 here on the hill. Throw in for Arsenault, played back to her. She's going to look, searching ball. Ruth Cook unable to get on the end of it. Johnson's going to possess, looking for number 20. Looks to be our furthest forward attacker. That's Annabelle Reike. Good ball there, looking for Ainsley Ballard, unable to get a touch. Ball's going to go out for a Katie Finch goal kick. Ball played up to Cami Ruling. Picked off easily there by Lexi Hatch in the midfield for the Royals. Played back to number 1, Benke. Benke plays wide on the right to number 20, Annabelle Reike. Reike to 19, Ainsley Ballard. Ballard looks for a ball in the middle. Going to be picked off by Carmen Verdell. Good job winning the second ball. Looks to play a ball up into space. Ruth Cook here at the middle of the pitch. Good touch there. Back into the middle. She's got Ryan Fair. She elects to go deep to Cami Ruling. Cami Ruling looking for the run. Is able to win the ball and have Arsenault on the overlap. Plays the ball wide to Arsenault down the right flank. Good touch by her into the box. Cross in. Blocked by number 13, Amelia Daughtry. Good job there, and the Royals are back in transition going the other way. But that errant pass is going to be touched to Ryan Fair by Sarah Horton. As Fair looks for a ball down the wing here to Dylan Knight. Good back and forth game so far here on the hill. I'm missing my broadcast partner, Josh Muncie. Coach Muncie works with the men's basketball team. They are scrimmaging tonight, so a lot of things going on the hill here on this first day of fall break. Hauser with a good turn, looking for the run. Down the left flank, she plays it. Johnson elects to come back inside. But the attack stops there as Dylan Belk's able to pick that ball off. Lions lose possession, but Dylan Knight That ball is going to roll out for a Lions throw right here in front of Coach Warren. We're going to get our first sub of the game. That's number 3, Claire Bryant, coming on for Dylan Knight. Dylan Knight took a big tackle on that yellow card from Daltrey early in the game, and I think that's forced Coach Warren's hands a bit with that first sub, as Dylan usually plays the majority of the minutes. We're going to see another foul against the Royals as Amy Johnson whistled there on the tackle here right in front of the gantry. Ball played deep, only as far as Brenna Binky. Going to play up her left flank to number 3, Amy Johnson. Johnson back to the midfield. Good turn by Hatch to keep possession for the Royals, as it's been so much back and forth early in this game that any sustained possession, I think, is good for either team. Good job, Sarah Horton, to clean up on that errant pass. It's going to be a Johnson Royals throw right on the bench, as we're going to get a sub, number 3 coming off. That's Amy Johnson. And 21, Sierra Turner, coming in. That ball's going to go out for the first corner of the game. Number 20, Annabelle Reiki, comes to take the corner for the Royals. First corner we've seen here since the broadcast has been live. Ball played in towards the front post. Miss hit by the Johnson attacker, but the ball goes back out to Reiki, and Johnson's able to set up a shot, but it's going to be blocked by Ryan Fair. Cami ruling out to Ruth Cook. Ruth Cook takes a touch inside, looks for a ball over the top. Nobody making the run there for the Lions, and it's going to be easily cleaned up by Daltrey, who's going to play it back to her goalkeeper, Caitlin Pope. Caitlin Pope recycles play back on the left flank. Royals keep possession up the left side. Ball looking for Reiki again. Kaylee Ridley is going to be first to it and clear only back as far as Binky. Binky again down the wing looking for number 31, Hauser. Hauser loses possession to Verdell, but the Royals get the ball right back. Binky's going to play a ball in again. Good job, Trinity Rutherford, to be first to that ball. 2 white Johnson Royal jerseys in the mix, but the single red jersey of Trinity Rutherford wins the ball. But the Royals have good possession here. Ball looking forward again, and it's going to be cleared up the hill again by Kaylee Ridley. So good possession there for the Royals. But the back line of the Lions bends but doesn't break. Neither team, from what I've seen, has had a great look at the goal, but Johnson has had probably a little more of the possession, as that ball is going to roll all the way through and be deflected again behind the goal. I thought initially off Ridley, but it's going to be a Katie Finch goal kick for the Lions. 25-23 remaining, first half, 0-0 here to the Royals and the Lions. Ball played to Verdell, good touch by her, looks for Danae Bates on the wing. Lexi Hatch gives pursuit, ball's going to roll out, and it's going to be a throw-in for the Royals. Great job by Hatch to apply pressure and win the throw-in on this far side of the field here at the Lions Den. Ball thrown in top of the box. Good touch again by Reiki. Reiki decides to turn back. Going to play it back to number 7. And that's going to be a long-distance effort by Allie Townsend, the center back. And she had pace on that one as it whips past the right post of Finch. Never was really on frame, but something the Lions are going to have to look for as Allie Townsend came up and put her boot through that one, as we're going to see another sub here by the Royals. Number 16 coming off the field is Ella Keene. And we're going to get number 2, Aubrey Felice, onto the field in her spot. Ball played short by Kaylee Ridley. Rutherford looking for runners And that's going to be a good ball in. What a ball. Looking for Claire Bryant. Claire Bryant gets on the end of it, plays it to the top of the box, looking for Ruth Cook. Ruth Cook gets on it. Ruth Cook makes a touch, and she's going to get a shot, but it's deflected and pushed back out into play by number 5, Caitlin Pope, and the ball lands at the feet of the Lions attack, but the ball's going to go over for a goal kick. The best attack of the game so far for the Lions. Ruth Cook, quick feet in the box to get the ball to her favored right foot, but unable to get the shot through the defense of the Royals. And the deflection was easily handled by Pope, who was able to get it out of harm's way. Throw in back in front of us. Sarah Horton on the ball, looks to turn back inside to the middle, finds her midfield partner, Verdell. Verdell looking for the run of Arsenault, but Arsenault and Verdell on the different page. Ball's going to be looking up top to number 2, just off the bench, Aubrey Felice, but Kaylee Ridley first to it to clear out again. So game's really picking up now. 22:55 remaining. 0-0 here at the Den on the last home game of the year for the Lions soccer programs. Good defensive header by Verdell. We're going to do it again. Good job by Finch to come get that one. Going to have a couple subs coming on for the Lions at the next stop of play. Ball played up to Ruth Cook. Good job to chest that down. Another ball looking for Claire Bryant. She's looked lively since coming off the bench. Does a good job to dispossess the Royals defense. Plays the ball looking in for Cammie Ruling. Ball's going to be headed down. Couple shouts for handball, but I think the center official got that one correct. I don't think there was any hand contacting the ball there in the box. Couple shouts out of Lions dugout. Ball thrown in off Danae Bates. She's going to clear it back off for another throw-in. Brianna Hauser doing the throw-in again. Long throw looking for Reike. Ball's going to be poked free by Ridley. Bounces around a bit in the midfield. Danae Bates is going to clear. The one thing I've seen so far, it seems like the Lions, when they get possession, are looking for a long ball. And if you've been with us this year, you've seen the pace that they have up top. It's not a lot of possession-oriented play at times. Sometimes it is looking for the speed of Ruth Cook or Cammie Ruling up top, and it looks like that's what the Lions are doing here again. And a great job by Amelia Daughtery to step through and block that long pass. Aubrey Felice just on the field. Good job for her. Ball cycles to 31. Brianna Hauser. Hauser plays across to Turner. Turner is dispossessed by Rutherford. Great job and a really good first 25 minutes of this game by Trinity Rutherford at that left center back position. Rutherford again with the pressure to win that throw in. We're going to see a sub here. It's going to be number 19, Madison Parker, coming in on that right flank for number 6, Lindy Arsenault. Seems to be a popular sub for Coach Jake Warren, usually midway through the first half, and we're just over halfway in this first half. Cammie Ruling loses out on possession to Binky. Binky plays the ball in. That ball's going to look for number. Great job by Katie Finch as she's first to it. Is Aubrey Felice, lively since coming off the bench, looked to get a hole in the end of that pass, and Katie Finch quick off her line to make sure that she thwarts the attack. Goal kick or punt played quickly up to Cammie Ruling, but unable to bring it down. The Royals are back on the ball, and a good ball it is. Looking for number 19, Ainsley Ballard. Ballard's going to look for a ball back post. Good job by Danae Bates. to try to get to it, but it's going to be won by number 31, Brianna Hauser, and she is going to find the back of the net for the Lady Royals. Good opening play for the opening goal there by the Royals. Wonderful ball, perfectly weighted down this right flank in behind the Lions' back line. And the ball was crossed in. Danae Bates did a good job to get a flick on it to beat the first attacker, but it falls to the back post. And Brianna Hauser gets the goal. 19:02 remaining in the first half, 1-0 to the visiting Lady Royals. Lions trying to respond quickly. They're going to look for an equalizer here as Sarah Horton's going to go retrieve a ball looking for a corner kick. 18:48 remaining here in the first half, 1-0 to the visiting Johnson Royals. Horton retrieves the ball and comes to plant it at the corner flag. Ball's going to be played into the sun, as you can see on your screen. The assistant referee and Sarah Horton both using hands to block the sun. Ball's played in. Ryan Fair plays that ball. I think it could have hit an arm, but in a natural position. No shout for handball from either team. And the Royals are going to possess through Binky. Binky had a good first half so far for the Royals from that defensive position on the left flank. Good job in defense, but also going forward. She's provided some overlapping runs. That ball's going to pop up and hit a hand. It's going to be blown dead. Joanna Beal came on as a sub after that goal. I worked to get you who she came in for. As the long ball played down the left flank for the Lions, going to be touched out by Townsend. Good back heel played by the Lions. Ball going to go into Cami Ruling. Cami Ruling gets a touch, but it bounces the ball over Madison Parker, who's unable to get it, but it goes back only as far as Danae Bates. Verdell looking for Cook, picked off by the defense. Good, strong header by Ridley. Ruling back on the ball. Lions sustained possession here. Danae Bates looks for a ball over the top. Ruth Cook unable to win the header, but it goes as far as Verdell. Verdell looks for it in the middle, steps back through. Ball's bouncing around. It finds the foot of Cami Ruling. Ruling's going to look for that cross. Good positioning by Lexi Hatch to stay goal side of Ruling, but she wins the corner nonetheless. Hatch with a good, strong left foot to keep that ball from putting her goalkeeper, Caitlin Pope, under pressure. But Ruling is going to come out and take this corner. So the last corner in this side we saw Sarah Horton take. We're now going to see Ruling. The same hand up to block the sun. That ball's going to be played in. Good punch by Pope to come off her line. It's a really good job by her as Danae Bates wins that and stops the counterattack, but is going to concede a throw-in to the Royals. 15:50 remaining in the first half. 1-0 here through a Brianna Hauser goal in the 31st minute. Puts the visiting Royals on top. Good tussle for possession in the middle. One well by Claire Bryant. But the transition comes right back through, and an unreal job again by Katie Finch coming off her line. That's 2 times that she's been able to come off of her line and hop on a ball in front of Aubrey Felice, who was looking to get in and on the score sheet. But Katie Finch nonetheless off her line to save it, the Lions from going down a further goal. 1-0 here still to the Royals. I'm missing my partner, Josh Muncie, here, as I don't do a lot of the games alone. I do some spurts of the games alone, depending on what's going on with the technical difficulties. But with basically 30 minutes of nonstop talking is a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. A little tougher to get it into a flow, a little tougher to see subs. It's definitely a two-man job here. I've got Associate Athletic Director Clint McCauley here looking for a headset. And we've never worked together on a call, but we have worked together in a baseball dugout for 12 years. So the chemistry might be there, but I don't know that he knows anything about soccer. Good job by Verdale. Back to Rutherford, up to Ruth Cook. Ruth Cook, good job to touchdown to Horton. Horton with runners. He's going to elect to go to the right flank, picked off again by Daltrey. Daltrey has been active in the first half. She's in the book for a yellow card. She's also been very active both on the offensive and defensive ends.
All right, I'm on.
And that is the voice of Clint McCauley over the airwaves joining me live here. He must have heard me complaining that I was struggling to do this by myself. We're going to get a quick sub. Number 15 coming into the game is Jaden Boyer, a freshman from Orange County, California. Coming off the pitch there is number 8, Lexi Hatch.
You're right, Jordan. My soccer knowledge is very limited, but I can at least keep you company here.
Yeah, well, I'll just go ahead and let you know that this button here on Channel 4 mutes you. So if you feel like you're overwhelmed, you go ahead and just hit this button. But you should be able to hear me in your headset.
So if I'm screaming at the refs, mute it.
Yeah, you're going to need to mute it, especially with your new role and the sensitivity of any umpire official. Ryan Fair, good job to get on possession, plays a ball with her weaker left foot, unable to find anybody in a red jersey. Rutherford comes to head forward, but it's going to spin off the side of her head and out of play. We're going to get another sub, and this is where they're coming quick and fast here. So we're going to see number 11, Hannah Michael, coming on for number 31, Brianna Hauser. That's the goal scorer. We've seen a handful of subs for both teams. We are definitely in fall weather, but it's still hot. Middle of the day, Coach Mack, it's hot out here.
It's too hot. I was hoping it would be a little bit cooler for the last game of the year. I got my long sleeves and pants on, which was a bad decision today.
Well, I went long sleeve with shorts, so I'm a little better than you, but it is definitely too hot for a long sleeve. But it's that time of the year in Tennessee where you're getting 4 seasons in a day. It's cold when you get up, and it feels like, hey, I need to crank my car every time I get ready to go into the office in the morning, but it's hot during the day. So you almost have to bring a change of clothes. And then if we're here late enough, you get to change back into your cold weather clothes for the end of the men's game. So 10:50 remaining, 1-0 here to the Royals as a goal from Brianna Hauser got them on.
That looked like a handball there.
And it was. And you may not have a ton of knowledge, but you know ball off hand is bad. So
only feet only. That's the rules.
Rutherford's going to come play that short back to Ridley to get, that ball is not in play yet. Rutherford was playing the ball back to the spot of the handball. And the Ridley free kick's going to get the ball in play, looking for Verdale. Finds the head of Lainey Willis, who wants the ball up this right flank, touched across. And now looking again for the sub, Aubrey Felice, who's been active since coming into this game. Line's clear, but only to the midway circle. Great job by Ruth Cook to step through. Tries to play a 1-2 with Verdale, not on the same page there, and Johnson's able to recover possession. Allie Townsend plays the ball looking over the top for number 18, Joanna Beal. Beal's going to look, checks her runs, decides to play back in on the left foot, beats Rutherford. Look again for a ball short, but she plays the ball into Ryan Fair, who's able to corral it and play it to Coach Jake Warren. Throw in here for the Royals. We're going to get 2 subs. That's number 17 for the Royals, Campbell Blair. And number 7 for the Lions, Adriana Martinez. Martinez on for Horton. And the player coming off for the Royals is number 20, Annabelle Reike. .8:45 remaining, 1-0 here to the Royals. Ridley's going to get us underway. Looks for Ruth Cook. Cook, that time able to find Verdell, but unable to find Madison Parker up on that right wing. But now the ball finds its way to Parker. Parker stood up by number 11 in defense. That's the sub, Michael. Michael's able to pressure the turnover. We get a kick from Caitlin Pope. Great job, Ryan Fair, to step in front of that one. And there's going to be a foul whistled against Johnson. Got a lot of free kicks in this area, but it's not close enough for the Lions to threaten with a long ball in. And right on cue, the long ball looks for Parker. Maddie Parker giving a run. She does a good job to win that.
Good win.
Going to play the ball back to Verdell. Verdell takes a shot, but deflected well by number 13, Amelia Daughtry, who is able to take the sting out of that shot for her goalkeeper, Caitlin Pope, who's going to get us back underway. Back and forth so far, Coach Mack.
Good win, good win.
That ball was just cleared. Ruth Cook looking to get in on the end of it. Allie Townsend does a good job to shelter her from getting to the ball. Ball's going to be cleared over the top of the Royal dugout for a throw-in. This is when we would, if Cammie Ruling sometimes comes across to take a little bit of a long throw, but she elects to stay in the middle, kind of in that number 9 position. Good combination play for the Royals. They look again up top for Felice. Ball's going to be cleared wide by Ridley. Back and forth match here at the Den for the last home game of the season. Got a lot going on campus, even though it's fall break. We've got men and women's basketball, I believe, are scrimmaging today.
They're scrimmaging right now, I believe. Had volleyball yesterday. We got volleyball tomorrow. Got volleyball on Friday, volleyball on Saturday.
So we've got a lot going on. Down in front of us, we're going to see number 8, Lily Holt, checking in here as soon as she's waved on by the referee for the last, give or take, 6 minutes of this first half. Ruth Cook, can she get on the end of it? She can't, but it's cleared only as far as Claire Bryant. Good touch on Martinez to find Verdell as she had a lot of pressure. That's the first touch she's had tonight since coming onto the pitch under pressure. She plays a beautifully weighted pass with her left foot. Lily Holt is going to come on. Number 8 subbing in for number 9, Ryan Fairs. Ryan Fairs is going to get the last 5:15 of this first half on the bench to catch her breath, plus the halftime interval, as I'm sure we will see her back out on the pitch to start the second half. She has been one of the mainstays in Coach Jake Warren's 11 this year, as well as in the 11 last year pretty consistently. Ana Martinez looking for a one-time first touch ball behind the defense as Cami Ruling had been offside in an offside position, had checked her run. So she's unable to get on the end of that. The Lions have had some possession, but nothing really that has turned into a great chance outside of the one ball where Ruth Cook dribbled through a couple defenders and was able to put up a shot that was blocked well by the defense of the Royals. Outside of that, a lot of good back and forth, but not a ton of great opportunities either team. Good play by Beal. It was a solid 1-2, but lose out to possession to the Lions. Ball bounces around between both teams in the midfield. Neither able to get onto the ball. Ruth Cook, another duel with Allie Townsend. We've said Townsend v. Cook a lot tonight.
This Johnson team had a few struggles this year with only 2 conference wins over Union Commonwealth and Bluefield.
Well, I think it's something, in speaking a little bit with Coach Warren, is you got to feel like this is a very winnable game. They've had a little bit of a rough start, did the Lady Lions, but probably
Playing well.
Well, yeah,
Playing
the last
well.
3 weeks have really turned it on. You had a lot of transition with Coach Warren getting here, his first year at the helm with the Lady Lions, and always going to be transition with a new coach, especially when you have obviously a lot of new players as well, and there was a lot of turnover on the roster. So the start of the season being a little bit more of a was a lot tougher, I think, than the latter part has been, just due to the camaraderie and the gelling of the team.
It seems like, just observing it, they've had a lot of girls switching positions, trying to find their spot. And maybe at the end of this year, seem to kind of find where they fit in.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think 3 wins in the last couple weeks. 2:35 remaining in the first half, 1-0 to the Royals. Ruth Cook going to come back for that one, plays the ball a little bit too hard, looking on the right flank for Madison Parker. Parker's been involved. A lot of balls down that wing. The Lions have played some long balls. She's had a couple chances, couple crosses, corners one, but unable to find the last ball into the middle for Cami Ruling or for Ruth Cook on the back post. Good step by Rutherford to clear it back to the midfield. Danae Bates, good header. Ball flipped up, looking for Ruling. Binky first to it. Good duel there, and it's going to go last off of Cami Ruling.
Danae Bates plays so physical. She seems to be one of the more physical girls on the squad.
She for sure does a good job, and you see her. She's a lot taller than most of your outside backs, and so she's a lot more physical on duels in the air. And you see her win a lot of those, even if she pinches down to help out Kaylee Ridley on some of the balls more centrally in the box. And that's a good shout from a guy that doesn't have much soccer knowledge here to see that she definitely plays bigger than most of your right backs. And so you'll see her throw herself into some duels. She does a good job.
I take that as an insult, but it's just the truth.
Ball goes back and corralled by Katie Finch. She's going to get the ball back in play. 58 seconds and counting here in the first half. Lady Lions with one last push to see if they can grab the equalizer before the halftime interval. Ball bounces around. Lily Holt tries to get to it. Good duel in the middle. We're going to get a jersey tug there on Lily Holt on number 17, Campbell Blair. And this is probably going to be the last attack of the half, 34 seconds. Allie Townsend on it. We've seen her with a wonderful deep kick earlier, and she's going to do that again. Kaylee Ridley first to it. Great clearance to try to get that out of the 18. We're seeing the pace of Aubrey Felice. She's done a really good job. Her speed, as you see her kind of running around, looking to put a shot on frame there. Going to have to turn and look for a runner. And Ruth Cook puts one through the middle, but with I think the timing of that, you saw Allie Townsend stay deep and not allow the deep ball. And that's going to be the horn here to end the first half. A wonderful first half of back and forth action between the Lions and the Royals. The Royals strike a 1-0 lead through Brianna Hauser 31 minutes in. We're going to take a break here on Lions Live. We will be back with you shortly in the second half. 1-0 here to the visiting Royals. 15-minute break, and we'll be back on. For myself and Clint McCauley, see you soon on Lions Live. Welcome back in to the second half. An entertaining first half between the Lady Royals of Johnson and the Lady Lions of Bryan College. 1-0 to the Royals as the Lady Lions look to add the equalizer. Going to do our best to get the 11s to you. Lady Lions do have a couple subs. Katie Ryan starts up top with Ruth Cook. Look, maybe a bit of a formational change. We saw Cami Rowling play the entirety of the first half, so she starts this second half on the bench as Katie Ryan comes in for her up top. Good job by Trinity Rutherford. I am joined in on the call by Associate Athletic Director Clint McCauley on his first time on the call. So
what I do know is Katie Ryan, Dayton, Tennessee, Cami Ruling, Dayton, Tennessee. So there's the connection right there.
He does know our local Daytonians. We're going to see Dylan Knight play that ball forward. Good to see Dylan back on the pitch as she was a early sub for Coach Jake Warren in the first half after a hard tackle that forced Coach Warren's hand a bit on that sub. 2.5 minutes into the second half, still a 1-0 game to the Johnson Royals.
Jordan, you got your Coke, you're rejuvenated, ready to go for the second half. Couldn't get you Eliminator popcorn.
Well, I do think that we'll go ahead and put on record that your biggest contribution of today will be getting this Coke for me. So that's, if you can outdo your Coke here on the commentary, then that means you've done a wonderful job. Danae Bates looks for a ball through, but it finds the foot of Annabelle Reike. They're going to bounce across the midfield, but the Lady Lions are going to win a throw through number 6, Lindy Arsenault, here in front of us. In and out of the shadows of the dugouts here as the sun sets in beautiful Dayton, Tennessee. Going to transition right in front of the camera. Just out of your screen. She's going to have the throw there to Daytonian Katie Ryan. Katie Ryan with a duel with Binky. Binky had a good first half. And Verdell's going to win that ball. Plays down
He's going with a boot in her hand, playing this. One shoe, carrying it. That's a ball.
I was trying to figure out what was in her hand.
Her shoe came off, and she just kept playing. She said, "I don't need it."
She did. She picked up, and that's going to be called a boot. She had the boot in her hand and played that ball actually with her bare foot.
Yeah.
Well, she did have a sock on, but she played it with the foot with no cleat, as we see a great tackle there by number 9, Ryan Fair, to win the ball, as you see your center ref pointing to signify that she did get the ball. Ball's played up again to Ruth Cook. Ball's touched by Katie Ryan, but the offside flag is going to go up. Great job by Caitlin Pope to come off her line nonetheless. She can't look and peek at the flag. She's got to go play the ball quick to it, and was able to get to that ball before Katie Ryan. In getting this Coke at halftime, I will shout out the traveling Pope family for Johnson. There's a lot of Pope shirts in the crowd here in Dayton, Tennessee, so made the short trip, which it checks out. She's from Chattanooga, so they are the Pope family in Chattanooga from Boyd Buchanan High School. A little bit shorter trip for them to find their way up Highway 27 to Dayton than it is probably to make it to the campus of Johnson in Knoxville. So she's got the whole crew here, extended family. Everybody's here to watch Caitlin. She's done a good job so far as the Lady Royals lead 1-0. We're going to get the first corner of the second half down here to our left. Annabelle Reike going to play it short, looking for Townsend. Back to Reike. Ball's played in. Good winner there by Sarah Horton. Ball bounces around only as far as Ryan Fair. Ryan Fair plays the ball up, looking for Katie Ryan. Katie Ryan with 2 boots on. Katie Ryan is going to be whistled for the foul on Binky.
Can we get that as a new name, One Boot?
We can, if you can start that, yes. We're going to see Allie Townsend if you were with us in the first half, ball played back to her, and she took a shot from about 40 yards that whizzed by the post. She doesn't get her foot wrapped enough around that one, I think, to get it into the mix, but the ball's going to be won by the Royals nonetheless and cleared to the back post. Nobody home, and it's going to roll out for a goal kick here to number 1, Katie Finch. Finch puts the ball at the edge of the 6 as she comes to take the kick, puts it back into play just over the head of Sarah Horton's going to fall to Verdell. Verdell pressured well by the Royal midfield, but Ridley's able to get it back up here. Binky again wearing the armband for the Royals. We see Katie Ryan come back out. Is Binky, we mentioned, the senior from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. Is wearing that captain's armband for the Royals tonight. She's done a good job on the back line, along with her counterpart who just wins that header, Amelia Daltrey. Daltrey also a senior, so some chemistry between those two in the back line. And also Allie Townsend, all 3 seniors on this defensive back line for the Royals. And you can see the chemistry between all 3 as they have done a good job in keeping the Lions out of the 18 pretty consistently tonight. There'll be a long throw from Lindy.
Okay.
Ball's going to bounce to One Boot. One Boot's on it. She's going to play a ball in, and it's not going to beat the first defender. It's going to roll oddly to Pope, who's able to grab that at the front post. Nothing in that cross shot, whatever you would call it. There may have been a deflection, but nonetheless, the ball falls to Pope, who's able to get it back in play quickly. Kaylee Ridley, again, great step. She has made a habit of that over the years. Not only is she good physically and good playing the ball, but she does a great job in timing her challenges, Coach Mack. Very good at reading the game. Ball comes to her. She knows when to apply pressure, when to drop off, and she's just done a wonderful job the last couple years that I've been on the call for the Lady Lions games. Wonderful job by Kaylee Ridley, and you can see why she, on the opposite end of Binky on this defensive line for the Royals, is wearing the armband for the Lions, has done a good job in communication from the back and consistently gives you a great 90-minute shift. As we're going to see the ball played over the top by Ryan Fair. Is One Boot going to be able to get to the end of it? She is, but she's unable to keep it in play.
We got a lot of seniors out there today. Good group of freshmen on the field, but a lot of seniors who have played hard for the Lions the past 4 years.
Plenty of space there for number 16. Good run by Ella Keene. Started the match for the Royals. Back in here to start the second half. She had 15, 20 yards of space, and she turned into it and had a good driving run, able to put the Lions on the back foot. But at the last second, the Lions are able to clear for a throw on the far side of the field. Brianna Hauser scored the first goal, plays the ball in. Great job on the placement of that ball, but Katie Finch, we talk about Kaylee Ridley reading the game. Katie Finch doing a wonderful job as well to come off of her line and grab that. It was just in front of the outstretched foot of a white uniform. Ball bounces around. Ridley first to it again. Looks to play a ball to Cook. Her counterpart, Allie Townsend, steps forward. Townsend with a good run. Plays the ball to Reike. Reike through the middle. Little step over. Does a good job. Plays to 31. 31 Hauser's already been on the score sheet, and that ball's going to go wide. And it's not touched by the Lions defense, and it's going to be a goal kick. 35 minutes remaining here in the second half at the Lions Den. 1-0 to the visiting Royals from Knoxville, Tennessee in this Appalachian Athletic Contest. The last game of the year, last home game of the year for the Lions. Ball bouncing into the box. I worked to get a number, but I think that was Keene. It was. Ball's going to be whistled late as a corner. Took a deflection off the lines. Good job by Keene. She's going to trot over to take this corner. We'll see if she continues to use an offhand to block the sun. Left-footed in-swinging service. Good job, Arsenault, to get ahead to that. Ball's going to ping around in the box. Hits a couple lines defenders, only as far out to about 25 yards. Arsenault comes across, unable to get to it. The captain, Lexi Hatch, does her best to corral the ball, and it's going to be a throw in deep in lines territory here. This is going to be interesting, Coach Mack, where you see everybody holding their hand up to try to block the sun. It's going to be thrown into the box, and it's going to bounce through to Katie Finch. It's going to be –
yeah, that has to be a factor.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything played from our side of the field, so anything on the near side of your bottom of your screen is directly into the sun. Nothing is behind us here where our stream is. If you're not familiar with the campus, it's pretty open. The sun is setting. There are two practice soccer fields behind us, so nothing at all to block the sun. Both goalkeepers, with anything coming from the bottom of your screen, is going to be tough to see the ball. They're going to have to do a really good job blocking the sun. Lindy, good job to be able to put some pressure and force Binky out to win the throw. We're going to see another Daytonian. Coach Clint McCauley, you want to do the honors here for our sub. We're going to see number 10,
Cammie Ruling.
Cammie Ruling.
On the field. Blocking the sun already because the ball is coming from the west. And it goes to her.
She's going to come in for Ruth Cook. So we did mention that a slight difference in the 11 for Coach Warren coming out of this second half. I figured it was due to the fact that Ruling played the entire 45 in the first. She starts on the bench, and now we have the Dayton duo up top, if you will. Let's see if we can get that going on.
Ruling comes from a legacy of, in her family, of soccer players here. Brian, her brother Carson played. Her brother Cooper played a little bit, plus about 5 or 6 other sports.
And her other brother, Cole,
plays football at Cumberland
University of the Cumberlands. That is correct. He's a place kicker though, so you got to go. It's you're giving him some of the nod. It's still he's still kicking. So you're right. The Ruling family, I guess, have been blessed with a lot of good right foot. I believe all of them are right-footed. We're going to see Finch come across there and has to play that ball out instead of being able to pick it up. I would have to assume she was outside of her own 18, so she could not handle the ball there. A little tougher for us to see. If you're at home now, you get some vibrant green on your screen. That's the rye seed that we've put in. We overseeded last week, probably a week and a half ago now. You're starting to see it pop up.
It'll die a little after this game.
It will be, yeah. As that ball's played over top to Ruling, can she get a good touch? She does get it on her right foot. Going to look to play it and doesn't wrap her foot around it. Ball sails wide, and she's unable to test Pope there. But a good look for the Lions. And I don't know if it was just the counterattack that caught the Royals napping, but it did. And Ruling unable to get that ball on frame, but a good look for the Lions. Still 1-0 as they try to grab the equalizer. 30-minute, 25-second remaining in the second half here at the Lions Den. Temperatures dropping a bit. I think it's going to pay off for us to be in our long sleeve shirts when the men's game starts.
Better get that lemonade in now.
That's right. Going to have to transition any colder. We're going to transition to some hot chocolate there in the concession stands, which I guess this is kind of wrapping up the end of our fall outdoor sports in terms of on campus, at least. We're going to get some subs here. Lindy Arsenault, number 6, coming off for number 3, Claire Bryant. We saw that same exact substitute in the first half. A little earlier on here for Claire Bryant in the second. She had a good run, a good cameo for Coach Warren. As maybe she's the one to get on the goal tally for the Lions as they try to equalize here. Good sustained possession through number 16, Ella Keene. But Danae Bates is equal to it, and you're going to see her. She's got plenty of room to stride forward. Danae Bates, good job there, and the ball just a bit of a far touch for her, and Binky's going to get on it as Danae Bates is retreating back to right back. She did a great job in getting forward. We were hoping that she was going to get a touch around that defender and spring the Lions even further forward into attack. We're going to get an attempted tackle of Rutherford. Rutherford loses possession, but Kaylee Ridley cleans it up for her center back partner. We have a Johnson Royal attacker down in the box now to her feet. It looked like Amelia Daughtry. And that ball's played out for a Johnson throw. They're going to stop the clock here, I believe, to check on Daughtry. It was the challenge. She actually was the aggressor in the challenge, put in a good tackle on Rutherford and won the ball, but Rutherford fell on, looks like maybe to the small of her back. So she's grabbing the lower back, walking off under her own power. So that's good to see, but we are going to see the sub nonetheless. That is number 10, Sarah Guffey, coming in for Daughtry. Could be a bit of a tactical sub as well. Daughtry did pick up a yellow in the first half, and nursing this 1-0 lead, the one thing you don't want to do is go down a player. And so you alleviate that pressure by pulling Daughtry on that card. No active player on the pitch has a card for either team. It's been a very well-played game. A lot of sportsmanship between both schools and both teams. 28-15 remaining, still 1-0. Katie Finch gets us back underway. Plays it looking for Ryan Fair. Ryan Fair with a good flick, but it drills Sarah Horton.
It had some juice on it off the
It did. Ball played forward, looking for Keene again. Keene looks for the turn, and she's not able to get that ball on frame to Tess Finch. And just like Cammie Ruling a couple minutes ago, decent position, but the last touch lacks a bit. And it's going to fall behind for a goal kick. Brianna Hauser, the goal scorer, plays back to Reike. Reike in the middle. Lexi Hatch. Good little pirouette, but unable to beat the second defender. Ball's bouncing around. Sarah Horton does good to get it clear and alleviate some pressure. Ball falls in front of the Royals dugout. You see all those pink shirts. I don't know that you can see them on your screen, but the entire Royals dugout is on their feet, cheering on their teammates. Ball fell back to Rutherford, but she decided to let it bounce. And I think under a lot more pressure than she initially thought, as Sarah Guffey, just off the bench for the Royals, was applying that pressure, fresh legs, and she was absolutely on Rutherford. Rutherford did well to clear out for a throw, and the ball bounces back to her. She clears only as far as Allie Townsend. Townsend again making that same driving run up to Reike. Reike's going to sail that one over the top of the crossbar. It looks like we're going to get another sub here.
That was a little hopeful on that shot.
Absolutely. Well, she hit one in the first half, Coach Mack, before you got here, and it was an absolute howitzer to the right post. And we're going to see Anna Martinez on for Ryan Fair. The one thing I've learned about Anna Martinez on the field is she can play a beautiful long ball. Ball's going to bounce. Nobody applies pressure for the Lions. Hauser takes that with her left foot, and it's going to go well wide of the post. 25-15 remaining, 1-0 to the Royals. See if Katie Ryan can get on to the end of it. She can't. Allie Townsend first to it. Going to play it back to Hauser. Hauser, ball deflected in the box. Ridley does a good job to get that clear. Again, Binky. The Royals are the first to every 50-50 ball right now. That ball's cleared by Claire Bryant off of Binky for a throw in front of the Johnson dugout to the red Jersey Lions. Lions unable to get anything going. Verdale applying some pressure after the turnover. Ball's going to be played in, and a great job by Trinity Rutherford there. Is that doesn't go down at all in any type of stat, but the ball bounced in front. She does a great job to keep her body goal side of her defender and allowing Katie Finch to come grab the ball. Wonderful positioning by Rutherford, the senior. And the Lions right now are just having trouble linking up any pass after they get the ball. There are some long balls looking for the top of the box, or excuse me, the top of your screen here at the midfield line, but unable to get the ball there. Wonderful goal kick. Cami Rowling is able to win that back to Verdale, but again, no link-up play at all for the Lions. Hauser, the one and only goal scorer in tonight's match, on the ball, plays in number 8. Lexi Hatch. Hatch back to Binky. Binky, good ball for Reike. Reike looks, turns, looking for a shot, and had some pace on it and hit right at Katie Finch. Good shot and a good job by Reike to get it onto her right foot. As you can tell, she's well struck. She's got on that right foot a couple times. She's definitely dangerous from distance, and she's shown that with the pace, but that's the first ball that she's absolutely put on frame. Katie Finch equal to it. And it was right at Katie Finch, but doesn't make it any easier nonetheless. She's dealing with that sun a bit. That ball was knuckling off the foot of Reike, and she did a good job not only to save it, but to catch it and keep it from bouncing out into a dangerous area for the Lions defense. Townsend on the ball again. Deep kick. Ridley tries to win it. Ball bounces down to Hauser. Hauser touches Ridley again. Excuse me, that was Danae Bates, not Ridley. Ball's going to bounce over. In the last 5 minutes, it has been all Lady Royals. We're going to get 2 subs. One of them is Aubrey Felice. She was dominant after coming on in the first half. Small in stature, but the quickest player on the pitch by a long margin. And she is going to come in, and as well as number 21, Sierra Turner, who also made an appearance in the first half. Oh, and that's whistled there. Dylan Knight whistled for the foul. Looked like a good physical play, 50-50 battle. But we've got about another 60 yards to try to see across the pitch. So I'm going to assume that the official there made the correct call. Townsend again, deep kick. Rutherford wins the header, back up looking for Katie Ryan. Ball's just boomed back into the box. It's going to roll out for a goal kick. 20:57 remaining. Lions still trail 1-0.
Kind of at the point of that game where the sun's getting you, the heat's getting you. It's kind of one of those things where you got to battle through some exhaustion right here. At this point, Johnson seems to be winning that battle a little bit more than us.
Really good point. And I think you're always going to expend a little bit more energy when you're the one having to go for it. You're having to commit some tackles. You're having to commit some players forward, as we see Turner do a good job off the bench. But it's going to be whistled for a offside call on the far side, which the toughest job on the pitch right now is probably that assistant referee looking into that sun.
That's right. I don't know.
No hat, no sunglasses, so he is just absolutely going through it. Turner plays that ball back. Guffey on the ball. Guffey turns in. Rutherford's equal to her. Rutherford goes to ground and looks like she got a nick of the ball, but it's going to be whistled dead. I'm going to guess that we're going to see Allie Townsend come up from that center back spot, and she is. She's trotting onto your screen now. And she's going to be turned away. Lexi Hatch, one of the co-captains for this Johnson Royals team, the senior midfielder from Stainsbury Park, Utah. So we've got some West Coast representation. We've got a couple California natives here, as well as some Germans. So a lot of a good mixture here for the Royals on their roster. It looks like that ball's played across and kicked in by.
It was a jumbled mess. I really couldn't tell.
I think it was number 2. Yeah, I think you're right. That's Aubrey Felice. And to be as non-biased as I can, Aubrey Felice, after her work rate in the first half, probably deserves to get on the score sheet. She did a great job in the first half, unable to get on the end of a couple balls. We're going to see number 20 come in for Johnson. Excuse me, 20 Rika back in. We're going to credit that goal, unless we hear otherwise, to number 2, Aubrey Felice. And that is, with the way the last 8-10 minutes have been, Coach Mack, I think that is a deserved goal for the Royals. Hard to say it wasn't leaning that way. They had been the first to almost every 50-50, first to the aerial duels, and just outplayed the lines in the last 10 minutes of this game. And the goal,
yeah, you kind of felt like it was coming,
is well deserved.
And we just had, it held them off, as long as we could.
Ball bounces between both teams. Sarah Horton tries to come get on the end of it. Can she turn? Hatch is playing stifling defense, and Horton was unable to do anything with it, but it's going to bounce back to her. Anna Martinez with a heavy touch. Does she get back on it? And she goes to ground, but we're not going to get a whistle there. Goal scorer Felice back on the ball. Tries to go around Rutherford, but unable to corral her own touch. It's going to be cleared out by the lines for a throw.
The men's team warming up behind us in the press box here, getting ready to play about 30-40 minutes after the girls' game ends.
Definitely stick around and join us after the completion of this one. Is Coach Mack, good shout. The visiting Royal, the men of Johnson University, will take on your lines. Be looking for that link to go live on YouTube. It will be a different link if you're watching at home. Danae Bates gets on the ball. Looks for Ruth Cook. Ruth Cook is able to get on the end of it, but the service is wide and over the crossbar, and that's been a little bit of a trend for the Lions. Getting into some positions, but unable to get the last ball into a dangerous enough area to put the ball in the back of the net. We're going to see Verdell back on. Also, Lindy Arsenault back on for Horton and Claire Bryant. Couple subs by the Royals as well. Number 19, Ainsley Ballard, is going to find her way to the Royal bench.
If you're a Bryan alumni listening to this that hasn't kept up a lot in the past several years, you may not recognize this Johnson Royal team, as Johnson used to not be competitive in any sport and have turned their complete athletic program around and are competitive in pretty much every sport now.
Yeah, they've done a wonderful job. We get to see it firsthand on the baseball side of things, as Coach Dave Serrano You may know that name as the former head coach of the University of Tennessee Volunteers, also Cal State Fullerton. He's made some Division I World Series trips to Omaha on the baseball side, took over a Royal program that was really in disarray. And after his first year, in year 2, able to win, I believe, 40-plus games, make a national tournament appearance, and just has done a wonderful job. Was well-deserved Coach of the Year in the Appalachian Athletic Conference last year on the baseball front. And interesting to see what they're going to do this year, because I can't imagine that they're going to slow down.
It's not the same Johnson Bible of years ago.
Ball's going to be played into a wonderful spot, and it's going to sail right over the bar.
Not
and
a bad look.
That felt like the one we needed in the back of the net, Coach Mack.
Yeah.
The clock strikes 15 here, but the clock looking like it's striking midnight if we were Cinderella, as we've got 2 goals to make up in 15 minutes, and that one looked like it really needed to go in. We're getting just some
Heckling.
We're getting some heckling from our own fans, and so I'm not sure what's going on. I didn't like the Cinderella reference. 14:20 remaining. Throwing on the far side through Sierra Turner. Turner, as always, it is the obligatory 5 to 8 yards walking forward from where the ball went out of play. And what I've learned is that's just it's what you do. I used to think when I first got into soccer, you're going, that's a little bit crazy, but it's kind of widespread. You don't look at it as anything other than, it's just kind of normal procedure when the ball goes out of play. You have to see how far you can get.
Does anybody try to test the limits?
Oh, yeah, we've seen it a couple times this year where there's a quick whistle and they back them up. And I think that's only if you're just getting crazy with it. If you keep it to 5, 8 yards, you're okay. They're not going to give you anything probably in the double digits, but I think 5 yards is an absolute lock. I don't think there's any way you're getting whistled, especially in the middle of the pitch. If you're getting closer to where, hey, this ball might be able to be thrown into the box. As we hear
got more subs ready.
More subs, and we're going to see number 31 coming in. That is Hauser, scorer of the first goal. And they're changing. It seems to be changing up their formation a bit. Keep hearing a lot of shouts that somebody is becoming a wing back, maybe going to go more of an extra defender in, maybe a 5 at the back, as that ball's going to be played into a dangerous area. What a ball.
Great ball
by Townsend. And we've said when you get that kind of service from a center back, it's a very dangerous thing, because the ball fell to her in the first half. She took a great shot. She's been on some set pieces. She's been good with the long diagonal ball over the top for the strikers. She just plays a very good ball, and it's definitely tested the back line of the Lions throughout this game. We're going to get a foul call there. I wasn't sure
Is
what.
that on Cook?
It had to be, or at least that was the area of the field. I don't believe there was any way that it was going to be an offside flag. So Bill on the ball. Bill looking for Felice, the goal scorer. Ball's going to roll back to Katie Finch. The thing that the Royals have done a good job with their subs is when Felice gets on the ball, it just gets in the game, it opens up so much of play. You can just flip a ball over the back line and let her pace play, as you see her making a diagonal run, trying to get teed up by Guffey on that right flank. Cammie Ruling was able to get in front and pick that ball off, as we see Ruling play the ball, looking for her Dayton partner, as that ball's going to be flipped up. Ruth Cook on the run, but unable to get on the end of it, as it was a bit too hard, and Pope was first to it. Easy decision for Pope to come off her line. Ball bounces over the top of Martinez. Going to fall again to Felice. Ball play wide on the flank. Felice there again in the middle. Guffey showed a little bit too much of the ball to Trinity Rutherford, and we're going to see that sub. And that's Brianna Hauser, scored the first goal. Looks like Guffey is going to come off the pitch for Hauser. Clock stopped here on this sub as Johnson is the winning team in subbing in the last. I thought it was 10 minutes of the game, but it was 10:31 on the clock, so it must be maybe the last 15 where the winning team is forced to stop the clock so they cannot time waste at any point during a substitution. In the collegiate game, we don't get the addition of stoppage time, so we are just going until the clock hits 0. Throw in by Dylan Knight, finds Cami Ruling, tries to play back down to Knight, but the Royals are first to it. Rutherford attempting to block the cross. She does, and I think she's going to be fouled as she took a kick from behind across the back of her calf. She's slow getting up, and that one's got to hurt.
Yeah.
We're going to get a stoppage here as she limps back to her feet. I can hear Coach Warren asking about that foul as there was no chance to win the ball. Rutherford did a good job shielding her body between the ball and the Johnson Royal attacker, and she was just swiped in the back of the leg. So I think he had a bit of a argument there. And Katie Ryan's going to win a corner for the Lions. 8:55 remaining. We're going to need this one to find the back of the net. Lions trail 2-0 here to the visiting Johnson Royals. Cami Ruling across to take. He's going to play this ball. She's looking into the sun, but everybody else should not be impeded with their vision. Ball played in the middle of the box, and a wonderful job again by Caitlin Pope. And the Caitlin Pope fan club down near our concession stand area on their feet with applause. She did a wonderful job high pointing that. Looked like a receiver, Coach Mack, coming to the top. There's a lot going on there. She's coming across the middle and high points the ball.
It was a great pass and a great grab.
Absolutely. I thought off the foot it was going to really put her under a lot of pressure. Good long throw in, and if you don't know that Cami Ruling has a long throw, you would never notice, or you wouldn't, I guess, assume she does by her stature. As she came to take that ball from Arsenault, Arsenault elects to play it quickly, and that's going to go out, and I can't believe that this won't be a Cami Ruling throw. As no, Arsenault's going to take it again and throws it really to nowhere. I think there was some miscommunication there, and Coach Jake Warren was asking what was going on as we see a good physical play by Ruling, but she was whistled for the foul. Our center referee was right on top of it. Best seat in the house for that one. 7:04 remaining here. Lions trail 2-0. Townsend again plays the ball up. Lions elect to let it bounce, and it finds the head of the attacker as the ball bounces around between both teams. Good ball through the middle. It's going to find Ciara Turner. Turner with a shot on frame, but easily finds the Lions goalkeeper. Ball going to be up here in front of the Lions bench. 6:22 remaining. Ball bounces out of play as number 4, Nina Katroba, is going to come on the field for number 23 for the Royals. That's Lainey Willis. She's put in a couple good shifts. Hasn't come off the field. That may have been her first sub. It's the first one I have marked for her. So she put in a good 84 minutes. And we're going to see, yeah, and that was a good shout as I went to mark that down. Ridley took some offense, and so we're going to get it whistled, but nobody's getting a talking to. And I think if that happens earlier in the game, you may want to show Ridley a card there just for the way she reacted, but nonetheless, he's going to let him play. And it's going to get both benches hiked back up into this game. Ball's played into the middle. Does it find Felice? It does, and she has a wonderful look at goal, one-on-one with Katie Finch and unable to get it on frame. That ball would have found the back of the net if it was anywhere on frame, not directly at Finch, as that ball fell to Felice inside. Maybe she was probably 6 yards out and just unable to get it. Yeah, it would have been a little chippy as we see that ball bounce out between Binky and Arsenault. Binky on the throw. Won by Reike. Reike, ball back in the middle. Good touch by Lexi Hatch. Also wearing the armband. So we got co-captains here. I mentioned Binky earlier. Hatch also doing it. Coach Warren begging for his girls to get forward. Ball's going to fall. Will it get to a red jersey? No, it won't. Wonderful touch, Amelia Daughtry. Not only does she win the ball, but she turns and makes a 15-yard run upfield to set the Royals out on the counter. 2v3 here. Wonderful step over, back onto the right foot, and Arsenault, if she doesn't make that recovery run, that ball's going to be on frame. 4:10 remaining. Rutherford clears, but it's not going to be good enough for the Lions. They need a ball in the net. And to put a ball in the net, they're going to need possession. Royals will take their time on this throw, and I don't blame them. 2-0 lead, well-deserved 2-0 lead here. They've been a little bit more of the dominant team in the second half, but only have one goal this half to show for it. Katie Ryan attempted to get on it. Daughtry providing some pressure. That ball flipped across. Townsend, I believe, hits her in the chest. Though a couple shouts for handball, but she's not going to get it. Arsenault is going to have some time. Touches the ball down this flank. Can she get her foot around it? She can't, but we get
nothing.
They're going to go nothing, and I see it was after the cross, we got a little coming together through, and Arsenault was kind of driven to the ground. 3:14 as we get our clock stopped. We see Ruth Cook come over to check on her teammate, and she's going to wave trainer Levi Moffitt onto the pitch.
I'm not real sure how she fell. I just know she fell hard.
She did. She went to, there was a defender, I believe number 31, Brianna Hauser, who was applying the pressure, and when she tried to cross the ball, I think her momentum stopped. Hauser was a little bit behind her, so her momentum kept going and just carried through to the ground, and she may have landed on top of Arsenault. I don't think there was anything malicious at all in the challenge, but it definitely was a coming together. And Arsenault, one of the tougher players in red consistently. I think probably some of that was learned this summer. Coach Mack, you can tell me if I'm wrong. She is in the Army, so has went through boot camp. We appreciate and thank her for her services. We're going to see Lindy come off the pitch here under her own power.
Yeah, you got to think if she's hurting, she's really hurting because she's a tough girl.
She absolutely. We're going to see Madison Parker come in for her the last 3:14 as Johnson gets us back underway. Clock is back going. Ball falls into the midfield, but there is nobody there but the captain of Johnson, Lexi Hatch. Hatch to her counterpart, Binky, but the ball bounces to Ruth Cook. Ruth Cook's got some runners. Does she get her foot around it? She does. Ball's going to fall, and Katie Ryan unable to get on it, and a touch would have been good enough for a goal there, as it was a wonderful cross by Ruth Cook, but nobody able to get the final touch. Ryan Fair was also in the area, and that one does feel like it absolutely had to go in for the Lions. We're inside a 2:35 here, 2-0 to the Royals. The sun's gone down here in Dayton, Tennessee, as it creeps beyond Dayton Mountain as the lights flicker on one at a time. And Felice with a turn, and that pace is unmatched. Is she going to be able to put this one on frame? And she does. As soon as she turned,
her speed was
she can float, and Felice grabs her second goal of the game. And she probably is the smallest player on the pitch, but she is absolutely the fastest player on the pitch as well. And when she turned and got past the last defender for the Lady Lions, it was probably not a matter of if she was going to outrun. It was just how long it took her to get one-on-one with Katie Finch. And she was probably 3-4 yards out. And did she place it in the corner? No, she absolutely hammered it into the back of the net as the Lady Lions try to play a deep one here. As Ruth Cook going for a ball, unable to get that one there. Foul call's going to go against her. I don't know how you blow that one dead. To me, it looked like it was a mutual coming together.
Yeah, if anything, I thought it may have been a foul on Johnson.
Absolutely. I can understand them not calling that on a long ball. Ball was a little bit in front of Ruth, but I definitely don't see how you call the foul on Cook, as she was not really in possession, or even I think it was just going to ground, both players. But nonetheless, ball back in play, 3-0 as the Lady Royals will see out the final bit of this game. 1:43 remaining is our So we had some issues with the clock. There was about a 10 seconds worth of clock that were not running, but it's now caught back up. And you could hear the shouts of the Johnson bench to get it going. 1:23 remaining. Lions are going to get a deep throw. It's going to come from Cammie Ruling. It's going to bounce out and well cleared, but oh my goodness, we're going to get Felice, and she's on a hat trick. The touch is good. She's one-on-one with Finch. Can Finch do anything to stop her? Ball's going to be played in, and she's going to get the hat trick. 4-0, the fourth goal of the game goes to Felice, the last three. And when she came on the pitch in the first half, we said how dangerous she was. She didn't get the goal in the first half, but she gets a hat trick in the second. And that ball bounced, and it was absolutely off to the races. She was onside because she was still in her own half, and she outran the Lions back line by a good 10 yards. And a well-deserved hat trick for her. First hat trick of the year that we've seen here since I've been on the call. So we're going to get the clock stopped here. I'm not sure why. It's one of those things, Coach Mack, to me, you just let it go.
Yeah.
We reset the clock from 59 seconds to 102. Not sure why. Ruth Cook wins a header only as far as Binky, and she clears. Ball thrown. Ryan Fair looking to get anything started. Really just playing for pride now if you're the Lions.
This will be the last home game for the women's team. They finished the season 2 games on the road. But good building blocks for the future for Jake Warren's team.
Absolutely, and we've seen a little bit of ups and downs, and that's how it goes in any season. But recently, a lot more ups than downs, and it stinks to go out like this with a with a loss at home, but got a lot of things to be proud of here if you're the Lions going forward, as the last part of this season has been a lot better, as we're going to see Finch grab that ball, and that's going to see out the rest of this clock. That's a 4-0 win to the visiting Johnson. And I'm going to give a huge shout out to Clint McCauley for helping me on the call. We'll be back with you on Lions Live here for the men's game, but closing out the Lady Lions home season, 4-0 to Johnson. Thanks for joining us on Lions Live. For myself and Clint McCauley, we'll see you here soon in about the next 45 minutes.